Known as Al by his fans, Allocate Your Assets joins his great-great-grandsire Zippo Pine Bar in the American Quarter Horse Hall of Fame. Four-time All-American Quarter Horse Congress champion and AQHA Reserve World Champion, Allocate Your Assets was bred by Julie Feld of Morrison, Colorado. The base stallion by Protect Your Assets was foaled in January 2000 out of the thoroughbred mare Cat Sass. Acquired as a 2-year-old by Kathy and Gerard Tobin of Scottsdale, Arizona, the Tobins put Allocate Your Assets in the care of Jim and Deanna Searles, who trained and eventually stood the stallion. When Jim and Deanna were looking for a horse for Kathy, a stallion wasn't what they were originally looking for. But when Deanna saw Al, she couldn't say no.
Whatever we found had to be gentle, had to pack her around, and she's a talented rider, but I'm very protective of her. And so we wanted something that was just fun to ride, and it could carry himself. And Al was that. He could float at the trot, and his lope was easy to sit, and he just did it naturally. There wasn't much training in him. He just did it. And his babies continued on with that same float, and they trained up easy, and they just were naturally athletic. He just floated. Everything just floated. And I missed him.
Deanna had found this horse and wanted Susie and I to come look at it. And the first thing I saw was beautiful. I walked up and I go, wow, he's stunning. And then I go, is that a stud? And she goes, yeah. And I'm like, oh, we weren't in the stud business and really didn't want to be in the stud business for an amateur at that time. But there was just something about him. As soon as you saw him step off, you knew that was a great one.
I did not see him until that October when he went to the All-American Congress. So I totally trusted Jim and Deanna and my sister Susie's opinion, and they were certainly very, very accurate, and he was more beautiful than I could have imagined.
Al was known by all to be a gentleman, but he had an undeniable presence. He loved to be looked at and always had an expression on his face as if he also knew he was good to look at. He was as talented as he was beautiful and had quite the personality to go with those attributes.
He had a little mischievous way. He never in the show pen, never anything. It was only at home. We'd put him on the hot walker and hook him up with some of the other show horses that were a little bit older. Well, he would look and make sure you were watching him go around, and then he'd get a glint in his eye, and you go, okay, here it comes. He'd grab the chain and take off in his huge trot. Well, now everybody else on the hot walker is practically galloping behind him, and he had a great time. But it's like, okay, no, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be cooling off, not getting everybody all hot again. So you'd yell, Al. And he would stop and start walking like, what? No, not me.
Al had quite the impressive show and breeding career, topping the chart as the AQHA Q-Data leading English all-around sire in 2017, and has sired more than 50 AQHA World and Reserve World Champions in open, youth, and amateur competition.
He stamps his offspring. I don't know the people, I don't know the horse, and they'll walk into the warm-up pen. I'm like, that looks like an Al.
Al's offspring had an undeniable likeness to their sire. They were classy, charismatic, and had his signature float to their gait. Not only could the Tobins and Searles identify his offspring just by looking at them, but Al's fans got to the point where they knew him by his movement and could pick Al babies out of the crowd.
We were always amazed because with whether he crossed with another thoroughbred mare or whether he crossed with a quarter horse mare, and we even bred him to a couple of just Western bred mares, he always put that movement on them, and they could jog. Sometimes you get the big strides and they can't come down to a jog, but Al could do that himself, and then his foals could too.
It means that a lot of other people have been able to acquire a wonderful animal. A lot of other people have been able to acquire one of his progeny and enjoy that, and see and have that wonderful feeling of showing the horse, loving the horse, and winning on the horse.
A 2025 inductee into the National Snafflebit Association Hall of Fame, Allocate Your Assets has sired foals that have compiled total earnings of more than $1.7 million. His progeny have earned more than 28,000 AQHA points, including more than 80 Superior Awards and 400 Registers of Merit, as well as numerous AQHA and National Snafflebit Association High Point title earners in Hunter Under Saddle, Over Fences, English All Around, Pleasure Driving, and Western Riding in open amateur and youth classes.
He definitely was a little bit before his time because he was exquisite mover. He was beautiful. I think it really took a while for, even though he was so successful in the beginning, took a while for that when you got to the smaller shows because he stood out so much. So there was times we might have gotten beat up a little bit, but he just stood out, and it just kept getting better and better. And on top of that, his career to now, especially in the hunt seat industry and the English industry, become a $1 million producer. That's tough.
It was no secret to anyone that Allocate Your Assets was a great horse who was loved by many and has left an incomparable impact in the lives of those who loved him and in the American quarter horse industry. Allocate Your Assets died November 2023 at the age of 23 and has left a 16 two-hand hole in countless hearts.
Well, it's quite an honor, and truthfully, I didn't think that I'd never have a horse of that quality, but thinking that never in my wildest dreams would I have a horse that would live up to those high standards of all the previous Hall of Fame horses. So to have Al be inducted into the Hall of Fame is, I don't have words to explain or describe how I feel, because it is just something I couldn't have even dreamt of.
Welcome to the American Quarter Horse Hall of Fame, Al. You're one of a kind.